head coach Oscar Glasscock this evening.
Oh, yeah, that's all.
We're enjoying it. Didn't so much enjoy last Friday night's game. Not the kind of way you want to be on the how a Friday night to go for you. Pretty much anything that could go wrong did go wrong last Friday night. And just your initial thoughts before we get into the game.
Well, there's no question. Mars Hill's a really good football team. I made no bones about it with the players and the staff, and it was a new opponent, one you're not familiar with, and I didn't do a very good job getting us in the right mindset. I think going up there and being prepared, and that starts with me. I had a poor job of preparation, both mental and physical, last week, and then you throw on top of that the almost tragic circumstances with Coach Hopper, and that certainly didn't help. And there was some other, I think, some poor decisions on my part as far as that handling that went, and so it wasn't a good night for Cullman. But the good news, the most important news is Coach Hopper's has made it over the hump. He's at home now. He actually was able to come by practice on Tuesday for a short time, and it was good to see him. The kids were excited, and that was sort of a sigh of relief. Now he's not out of the woods yet. He's been meeting with a cardiologist and getting a plan, but obviously the most important thing is he's still with us, and he had that same enthusiasm and presence showing up at practice, and so like I said, it's just sort of a sigh of relief.
Oh, absolutely. Scary situation for anybody, any age, but somebody that's been around this program so long. Prayers definitely go out to him and to his family, and hopefully it is a speedy recovery, Coach. We look forward to seeing you back out there, hopefully as soon as possible.
Yeah, well, we're going to be smart about all that, and just I do want to send a shout out to Elizabeth Doolin. I thought that her, along with some others, really saved his life. It was kind of an unusual circumstance because Matt never lost consciousness, and he really showed signs of COVID or just any other type of maybe a stomach virus or something like that, and he went over and sat down on the bench, and I was alerted that Matt was sick, and it was very unknown at that time. And Dr. Doolin motioned to his wife to come out of the stands, and she literally came. She was a parent, obviously we're talking about Max and Jake's mom. And she came out, she had nitroglycerin and aspirin, and she carries with her. She's an ER nurse, a lot of experience in this area, and she gave him aspirin and nitroglycerin, and that's what basically kept him alive until he was able to, he walked out under his own power to the parking lot, and the ambulance got there. They didn't have one at the game, and then they took over from there, and they got him to the hospital, and they were put a stent in, and like I said, Matt never lost consciousness the whole time, and I didn't know until late in the third quarter he had actually suffered a heart attack. Everything else we were led to believe everything was precautionary, and so obviously if I didn't know it was a heart attack, I would have alerted the rest. We would have suspended the game, probably forfeited and left. But we didn't have as much information probably, and that's again, that's kind of my fault for not probably investigating the scene a little bit more thoroughly at the time and alerting the rest. But fortunately everything turned out okay as far as Matt's health, and that's the most important thing.
Absolutely it is. And hindsight's 20/20, but we live in the here and the now, and luckily he's okay.
Yeah, and it's just like I said, in this time of COVID and this unusual year, it's just that's the first thing you think of. And
sure.
But it was a very difficult locker room afterwards, telling the team I really didn't know if he was alive or dead, and I told the kids that, and and that's just I believe in being honest with people, and it was a pretty tough environment after the game.
I'm sure. It makes a tough Friday night even tougher, and that's just kind of how it went Friday. And let's take a look at this. Our first quarter of action, Bearcats were on the road up in Florence, taking on Mars Hill. And Bearcats weren't victorious for the first time this season, and we'll see some of the action out here as we get the first quarter of play up on the screen here, as Cullman did travel to Mars Hill last Friday night.
Right, and we You know, again, this is a big mistake I take responsibility for. We kicked deep to, you know, Peyton Higgins, which is Coach Higgins' son, and on this return, he set the all-time state record for kickoff returns for TDs, and so, I mean, that was just a huge mistake on my part, and you know, we work hard, and we've been excellent on kickoff coverage, and, you know, but you don't kick to a guy like that that's setting records and is, you know, he's committed to Troy University, and it's just, like I said, just huge mistake, and we started off in the hole, and we didn't need to be in the hole against this team. I mean, this bunch has won a ton of games. 2 years ago, they averaged over 50 points a game, and they basically have the best players in the Shoals area. It's almost like a mini IMG, and what people used to think I was the old Madison Academy or Briarwood. They're just outstanding at every position. And you can see right now is, you know, we're really disappointed with our offensive line play. All night we couldn't get any movement on them up front. You know, that was the best run defense, hands down, we played this year. Those guys are this first team we played that were stronger than us, and it let us know that we're made a lot of strides in the weight room, but we're not at an elite level yet. And that team had elite strength, and you can tell by the size of them up front. I mean, they're not only are they physically gifted, they are extremely well coached. They play really hard, and they know what it takes to win. So a great play on Peyton Higgins out here, number 21. He just, you know, they did a good job of seeing some tendencies on us, and it always seemed like he was lined up where the ball was going. Great throw and catch, Nick Glass. I mean, we got some things going on this first drive, and so we had a very productive night throwing the football. But, you know, with our offense, if we can't run the football, I mean, it's going to be a long night for us normally. And that was, like I said, this was the first time we've really been pushed around up front, and I wasn't really very happy with how we reacted. Again, you see Peyton Higgins was just an unbelievable play, stripping the ball. You know, we felt like, you know, Isaiah had good, we had good ball security there. I think the guy just made a tremendous play. They come out trying to hit the home run, really good sophomore quarterback. You know, Brody Malcolm made a nice play on the ball, and you know, they're going to take their shots. Very similar offense, but again, right off the get-go, kind of looked like our Hartsville game. It seemed like they were getting 3, 4, 5 yards at pop, and then ultimately broke a long one. And we had some alignment issues on defense early, and I felt like, you know, Josh Miranda really played well up front, but, you know, overall it wasn't our best defensive effort, and you know, we're out there practicing, trying to correct those things, get better this week. Again, Morris Hill runs a little more traditional Delaware set out of the wing tee. We do, like I said, we run very similar offense. Coach Higgins has been a friend to our program, helping us get started in this, but they, you know, obviously they sort of set the bar on how to run it, especially with their pad load on the offensive line. You know, we hold them, force a punt, and, you know, we got a block punt later on, and it wasn't all bad, but, you know, again, this is, you know, one of our signature plays right here on fullback toss, and, you know, we've got to do a better job of making sure we don't line up in one formation and run one play. And again, that's kind of my deal. I'm responsible for making sure that's the case. You know, our Twins passing game has gotten better. Max does a good job of, you know, they got the players covered, and they give him open alley, and he's, again, a very effective runner. You know, Max has been nursing a sore back, and I thought he showed tremendous toughness the other night.
It's good to see Isaiah out there more this week.
Yeah, he's getting closer and closer to 100%, and you know, we've got 2 fine receivers between him and Nick Glass, and you see Jamar Kay back, and again this week, and he's another guy, speed guy that can make a lot of people miss, and we got to do a better job getting him the football in open space. Again, running 2 receiver passing routes, man, just a super throw and catch. You know, like I said, we did some good things in the passing game and executed, and you know, we're not a one-trick pony as far as just having to run the ball and just giving it to Jalen, but you know, right here we've got to be able to get up there and not knock people. We need an 18-inch surge off the line of scrimmage, and we weren't getting that. They were basically pushing us back into the backfield, and like I said, we've got to work on our pad level, continue to work in the weight room, and execute our offense more so. Because when you run into good people, I mean, they're gonna expose you. Again, it seemed like every time we ran the ball to wide, number 21 was out there, and they did a super job of scouting us and getting him on the right side when we were running plays. Anyway, got a makeable field goal here, but we're right at 35-yard attempt, and just pull it to the right, and again, that's the kind of night it was. Just couldn't. Some of the things we normally execute, it just weren't happening. Had some alignment issues. Again, you see, you have trouble when our man's short lining up versus their jet sweep. Number 4 is a really good player. I mean, like I said, they really had no weaknesses at the positions, and they were hoping to, stay in the game, and hopefully our depth would help us down the stretch. But unfortunately, we got behind, and they were able to stay ahead, and our depth was sort of negated because, they do have kids that are playing both ways. Cooler conditions at this time of year, I think, certainly helped them. They had played Jasper earlier in the year and lost that game, but it was extremely hot, and they had some big turnovers. Jasper never really checked them up. As far as offensively, they never checked Mars Hill up, but because of the turnovers, they didn't get as many scores, and then Jasper kind of overwhelmed them a little bit in the second half as far as the depth and getting those guys tired. It was a little bit different time of the year, but man, Mars Hill they were at their very best Friday, and we didn't match it.
Right, 7-0 into the first quarter between Cullman and Mars Hill. We'll take our first break on the Bearcat Review. We'll be right back after this.
Home. It's where you take your time. Build the future. Make your memories. Celebrate. Come home. Alpha Insurance.
For the best agents in the business, call Kathy Sims in Cullman.
Welcome back to the Bearcat Review. I am Wade Smith alongside head coach Oscar Glasscock. Taking a look at the Cullman-Mars Hill game from last Friday night. Unfortunately, Cullman not victorious. 21-6 loss for the Bearcats, first loss on the season. And I will say, watching that game, Coach, this Mars Hill team, they're known for scoring points. They put up some major numbers this year, and I know, like you said, they've averaged over 50 points the last couple of seasons as well. And I really feel like the defense overall had a pretty good night of slowing down this offense. It just kind of came down to 2 or 3 big plays at the worst possible times, and that's when they were able to take advantage.
Yeah, we gave up an explosive touchdown, which is something that we just can't do, and giving up a score in the kicking game, those 2 plays really hurt us. We had a questionable call in the end zone on pass interference, but we made the situation much worse by getting a couple of out-of-character personal fouls. Yep. And, and I was told the team that's one of the biggest things I was disappointed about is that we got selfish. We had a tight game, first time we've been behind and seen some adversity. I felt some of the guys kind of caved into it, and they let the Mars Hill players and their success get in their heads to where they couldn't concentrate on the job they're supposed to be doing. Right. And that's disappointing. But, hey, it's like life, man. Every day is not going to be a great day for us, and, we've got to be able to persevere through it. And, You know, God doesn't make it easy on us. You know, we're going to have bad days, and you know, it's really all how we respond. And you know, we had some kids that played well, that played hard, and did what they're supposed to do. But you know, collectively as a team, you know, I feel like we battled ourselves more than we were battling Mars Hill.
Right. Yeah, pray for strength, and I'll give you a chance to be strong. Let's take a look at this second quarter of action. The Bearcats down 7-0 as we do enter the second quarter up in Florence. Again, Bearcats not victorious, but this second quarter was a good one for the defense until the end.
That's right. You know, again, I think we, you know, fixed some of our lineman issues and you know, kind of got on the same page about it. They do a super job right here. We let the flat route go, and you know, that's something we work on it all week, and it just. And, you know, we run those same plays, and it was, like I said, kind of disappointing when we let a guy go. You know, nice throw and catch on their part. You know, we sort of minimized the gain. I think Brody Malcolm got a little shook up on that play. This was about the point. And, again, you know, we doing some good things. And, like I said, I feel like defensive line-wise, that was the best position on the team, you know, as far as our total team. I thought that group, and Coach Morris coaches our D-line, I thought they did pretty much an outstanding job all night. Yeah, we got him bottled up. And you can see the kind of athlete he is. You know, they get a penalty here, and we're forced them back. You know, we like to try to make them one-dimensional as best we can, and force them to throw. They want to. You know, they want to play action and throw when they want to, but when you make them have to throw, then we can usually find some success. See Jalen Huey and Josh Miranda again. I thought he had a really good game. We forced him into another punting situation, and you know, we're holding our own right there. It's just like I said, unfortunate we gave up that kickoff return for a TD, or it'd be a tie game. And I thought this really could be a momentum changer right here, and you know, Drew Ball did an awesome job getting a hand on that punt. You know. Most of the time, you're in a position where you can pick that ball up and maybe score, and it just the way it rolled, weren't able to. Come back, and man, Jake does what a great catch!
Incredible.
Yeah, in between the legs for just seconds. So we hit a big game, run a wheel route in the passing game, and you know, man, we've got some momentum now. And then you know, again, uncharacteristic stuff. Try to run out the trap out of a little bit different offensive motion, and just that little bit of change caused us to put the ball on the ground. And you know, again, had a play into, you know, they had an extra defender over there, and that's not a good. You know, should have gone ahead and run the rocket out of that. And again, so you know, here we are, 4th down, and you know, we're going to go ahead and take a shot here. If you punt it, I mean, it's too long for a field goal. It's too close for a punt. So, you kind of feel like it's a pretty safe call to go ahead and try to throw it up, see if you can't make a play. You know, we need something good to happen for us. We had the block punt and almost make it tremendous. We catch the ball just a little bit out of bounds, and, you know, felt like the ref made a good call on that. And it's just, like I said, one of those nights. You know, we get to turn over, make a big passing play, and then, you know, drop the ball. Don't execute. I mean, it was just, again, just like we say one of those nights, but it's just very poor execution. So anyways, we don't get points out of that. We've missed a field goal, missed another opportunity to score. And instead of being in the lead now, we're, you know, sending the defense back on the field, and you know, nice form tackle over there, Griffin Barksdale. I mean, you know, some of these guys were playing hard. We just at times weren't playing smart. And, you know, here we go. We get a turnover. First fumble recovery we've had this year. You
wow.
know, we've had interceptions, and we've had a lot of 4th down stops and things like that. But, you know, again, we're in great shape field position-wise. You know, trying to run the trap and sort of bounce it outside, and we got to trust that hole right there. And, you know, we're not blocking people out there where we're running right there, and we just, you know, that should be a play that's very successful for us. Max does a good job of, you know, they've got a pitch guy that's trying to play both of them, and he finds that little crease. You know, 3rd and short. And again, since I've been here, we hadn't been stopped on a quarterback sneak yet as far as getting a touchdown or a first down. That's the first time. And again, they just whipped us up front. That's just the bottom line. You know, their defensive line, you know, wanted to stop us more than we wanted to get that first down. You know, we use that analogy of a boxer. You know, a champion boxer. It's not just about delivering the punches. You got to be able to take the punches. And you know, that's what I felt like we did a poor job of. We weren't really taking their punch and responding. Again, run the buck and that's why we're here. We've got to stay on these blocks a little bit. But, man, you know, we got a wide open player. Great call by Coach Saint, Coach input from Coach Gleaton. Got Jeb Bartle. You know, they're trying to play man but also be very aggressive in their secondary. And, you know, you got to be able to throw it in those situations. But, again, we just, you know, miss an extra point. And, you know, we've been so good hitting extra points and being consistent in our kicking game. It's just, you know, again, you know, there's been some good things happen, and we got individuals playing hard, but I just, you know, as a team, I just don't feel like we played. You know, Mars Hill was clearly the best team, and, you know, that's just a disappointment, and that's, you know, 100% my fault on that, not getting them ready. Get another passing flat, route flanked, you know, and then we get a very poor decision of getting a late hit out of bounds over there. It wasn't anything very malicious, but you can't hit, once that whistle blows, you can't hit them. You know, that's a tough call right there, but, you know, unfortunately, we had two penalties. You know, we had the pass interference, and then we made it worse by getting an unsportsmanlike call. And, you know, that stuff, again, that hasn't happened. You know, that's not characteristic of it, and we don't tolerate it. Don't tolerate it in practice, but we let that team get to us. And, you know, and like I said, we've hung our hat on around here that it's never about who we play, it's about who we are. We handle our business, we focus on us, but right there, we're focused on them. You know, when a penalty like that happens, that means you're thinking about them more than you're thinking about what you're supposed to be doing. And that's, you know, it's just a poor reflection on the type of team we're trying to put out there. And again, we, you know, corner loses the edge right there. We got a chance to make a play, and, you know, we just got to be better tacklers. We got to take better angles and got to be better right there. But, you know, we gave them three penalties on that drive, and man, you can't do that. You can't give those kind of things away to a team like Mars Hill, because they're going to take it down, score, and they're going to take advantage of it. And so I was very upset about our lack of composure right here. And, you know, if we learn from it and we're better at it and it doesn't happen again, then, you know, obviously that was a lesson we needed to learn. And also at this time, you know, Coach Hopper's has been taken to the hospital. You know, I believe that before that drive is when the, you know, situation with him occurred, and so we're a little fragile now anyway. And we just we need to get to halftime. We're getting the ball the first drive of the second half, and you know, try to get in there and, you know, first off, try to find out what we can about Coach Hopper, and you know, then make sure we understand, you know, what kind of game we're in and what it's going to take to get back in the game. And the number one thing is to change our mindset and be, you know, focused on this team and focused on your individual job, and not be worried about what the other team's doing, saying, how they're playing, what the score is, what the situation is in the game. You know, we got to be able to line up, and individually, we got to do our jobs as best we can and block everything else out, and then you line up and you do it again. And that's, unfortunately, that's what we haven't been doing. You know, we were worried about everything but actually the job that we're supposed to do. And like I said, you know, if it's a wake-up call and we're better for it, then, you know, it's like I like to say, you know, you either win or you learn. Mm-hmm. And, you know, if we can learn from it, you know, man, you know, the psyche and the mental part of football is just that's still such a hard thing to get a hold of. And, you know, if we can kind of reel it back in, we still have a chance to win this football game. And it's not over by any stretch. And we played poorly. And we had adversity, for sure. There's unknowns out there. I felt the best decision was to keep on playing. We hadn't gotten any indications that Matt was, had this serious heart attack, and we really just, again, at halftime, we felt like it was precautionary as far as the information I was privy to and things like that. And so we just, really, there wasn't ever really a discussion of, stop and play at that point. But, again, hindsight, looking back, if I'd have known the seriousness of it, I certainly would have.
Sure, absolutely. 14-6 at halftime. We're going to take our next break on the Bearcat Review. We'll come back with the third quarter of action after this.
Your first set of wheels didn't come with hassles. It can be that way again at Tire Pros.
Tire Pros offers a wide selection of Michelin tires. No matter what you drive or where you've driven, Michelin has a tire to fit any need.
Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed.
Johnny's Barbecue, family owned and operated since 1963. Dine in or carry out. Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. till 9 p.m. Stuffed potatoes, pork, ribs, chicken, catfish, and much, much more. Try our weekend wings and Brunswick stew. And don't forget Johnny's on the Road, catering and delivery. Mention you saw us on the Cullman High School Network. And go Bearcats!
Welcome back to the Bearcat Review. I am Wade Smith alongside head coach Oscar Glasscock, breaking down the Mars Hill Cullman game from last Friday night. Unfortunately, Cullman falls.
Where'd you go, Wade? Just
what's that?
You disappeared for a minute. I thought the rapture had begun.
I'm just magic over here. We've got magic behind the screen. We forget about the wizard back there.
I trust old Gandalf back there, but man, that was a little after the week we've had.
Hey, you never know.
Let me think for a second.
Oh man, good grief. We talked about in the second quarter. We saw a stretch there where had 3 penalties in 2 plays, and it's not anything you typically see from this team. It's definitely not what you want to see from this team and the discipline you guys coach out there in practice and in life in general. And I think it just kind of goes to show, you harp on it all season about making teams snap the ball 15, 20 times on a drive to be able to drive against this defense. And when you do that, you take that ability away.
Right, that's right. I mean, it's uncharacteristic. I would say, I think, I like to say, as a blip on the radar. Mm-hmm. I firmly believe that, and these are issues we address them every day, whether it happens in a game or not. And I'm very proud of the sportsmanship and the class and that our team has played with, and and that's always going to be a continual point of emphasis around here. But we all make mistakes, and I'm sure I was a little bit probably slack on that, and I addressed it. And when you allow certain things to go on in practice, or you allow certain things to go on in the weight room, or you allow certain things to go on in meetings, it shouldn't be a surprise to you when they happen on the field. And that was one of those things. Maybe we took it for granted that the kids are of the right mindset, and they'll continue to be. But you know what? Obviously Friday, that's still an area we have to work on, and as does every other head coach and program in this country, and on all levels. And these are good kids. They got good hearts, and they've been really good teammates, and we're going to get back to that. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And there's just it's one of the danger things when it has been relatively easy for us this year. We haven't been behind. We've played ahead, and we've been the bully out there. And we ran into a buzzsaw the other night, and I was just, like I said, disappointed on how we handled it. And I didn't do a good job preparing us for that environment. And but like I said before, if we learn lessons from it and it serves us well the rest of the year and on into the future in our lives, then sometimes it's worth it. And a lot of times you can look back on a particular game or particular situation in your life and say, man, it wasn't fun then, but looking back, this is what I learned from it, and this made me do better and perform better and be better. And if that's the case, then I'll take it.
Absolutely. Down 14-6 going into the third quarter. Cullman up in Florence taking on Mars Hill. Cullman will be on the receiving end of the opening kickoff here in the third quarter, and let's go to action here.
Really nice setting up there, Mars Hill. They've done a lot of work to that stadium. Didn't really have football, I think, until about 5 or 6, maybe 7 years ago. And they hired the right guy, Daryl Higgins, as head coach, and he's done just a superior job there, obviously. But you know, we're on offense, and we feel like, hey, we're going to come out and, you know, we're going to try to get a drive going, reestablish the line of scrimmage, and you know, we're in this game 1 score down. I mean, we get the ball. I mean, it's as spotty as we've played, we still got a chance. Again, you see Nick Glass make a tremendous catch. You know, what a great addition to our team, and you know, he's a pole vaulter as well as a track guy, and I think some of that helps him with the body control. And probably should have pitched it right there, but I'm trying to value the football and protect it, and you know, we've got a drive going. And here we go, make a nice run. First time we've been able to break that line of scrimmage, and you know, we put the ball on the ground. You know, and it's just, again, get something positive going, and we fumbled the ball, and it was just like, wow. You know, it's just the first time we've been able to bust out of there. You know, it took the wind out of our sails, and then we're not gap sound. You know, they run a little inside veer play. Their running back drops the ball on about the 3-yard line. It's almost, you know, if it goes out of the end zone, you know, it's our ball and touchback, or we at least get a chance to make a stop, but it bounces right to him, and he scores. And that was the biggest sequence of plays in the game right there. It's just we're got a nice drive going. We're going in, finally get some movement, fumble, next play they score, and it was just that was a killer, you know. But you know what? There's still, you know, most of 2 quarters left to play, and we got to dig in and take the adversity and focus on what our job is, and do everything we can to put ourselves and get back into this football game. You know, and again, the long run happens when we're, you know, we're a 1-gap defense. Everybody has a particular gap, be it A, B, or C. We have a, you know, perimeter set and things like that. And when one person doesn't do their job and doesn't get into that gap, you know, against a really good football team, they're gonna make you pay. You know, but again, we're throwing the ball effectively. We had over 200 yards passing, and you know, and we've had 1 good run or so. Again, put the ball on the ground. You know, we're trying to make the right read on the option, but you know, I feel like we're not probably spending enough time on the mechanics. You know, running triple option, and we gotta make some decisions based on, you know, you want to be multiple and advance your scheme, but you also have to have enough time to work on it effectively. And you know, we're not ever going to be a team that just runs stuff. It's all very carefully thought out. You know, throw the ball up on a long pass situation, throw a pick, and you know, again, the turnovers really, you know, that's 3 turnovers, another near turnover, give up a cheap one in the kicking game, give up an explosive touchdown defense, and that's, you know, for us, we just can't do that. Lose the perimeter. You know, again, we have a contained player here, and you know, we're not disciplined with our eyes and doing our job first, and results in a big play. So the breakdowns were in all 3 areas, you know, kicking game, defense, and offense. But we can't dive at tackles. We don't teach that. You know, we got to run to the tackler. Again, got a personal foul right there on a late hit. Just ran up and hit a guy squarely in the back for no reason, and that's just simply frustration, and that's simply focusing on what the other team's doing and not what we're doing. And you know, again, I think the kids that happened to were embarrassed about it, and I'm embarrassed too, and we got to make sure it doesn't happen again. Again, they had another long run right here, got out of our gaps, but you know, they had a holding call, I believe, brought it back. You know, fortunately for us. Again, I think our defensive line's holding its own. You know, see Griffin Barksdale and You know, we got Jalen out there playing defense, and you know, we got some guys still playing hard. You know, Evan Dye and Cody Lynn, Josh Miranda, you know, Caleb Bates, Jay Knopp, you know, Lane Parker. You know, those guys up front, I thought they had a pretty excellent night all the way around. So forced them into punt, so we're still doing some good things, getting that high-powered offense off the field. You know, we're still in the game. And, again, uncharacteristic, hit a guy, you know, push a guy down, block him in the back. It wasn't a cheap shot. It's just poor decision blocking a guy in the back. And it's just, you know, again, it wasn't a night where we could have penalties like that and overcome them. And, good, nice throw and catch. You know, they're in a cover 2 coverage, like we call it, and don't want to throw it to that guy necessarily in that coverage. But they did a good job, I thought. Mars Hill, man, really nice run on the option right there by Max. But really felt like Mars Hill did a good job with their coverages. You know, Max got a little banged up. He's been nursing a sore back. I thought, you know, Ryan Skinner came in and did a really nice job being composed. And, man, Jake had a huge run. But, again, you know, we have another blindside block called on us. Again, it wasn't a vicious hit or an unsportsmanlike penalty, but, again, just not a very good decision. We score right there. We don't do that, have that penalty right there. We got it down to a 1-score game. And it's just, again, you know, some poor decision-making, you know, making uncharacteristic decisions and letting our mind drift to being more focused on retaliation and having an individual battle with a guy and not being focused on this is my job, this is within the rules of the game, you know, play hard, you know, have a business-like attitude toward it, you know, and that was really the difference. You know, the things we hang our hat on, we didn't successfully execute, and that's why we came up with a loss.
21-6 into the third quarter. We're going to take our next break on the Bearcat Review. We'll come back with fourth quarter action after this.
Home. It's where you take your time. Build the future. Make your memories. Celebrate. Come home. Alpha Insurance.
For the best agents in the business, call Kathy Sims in Cullman.
Welcome back to the Bearcat Review. I am Wade Smith alongside head coach Oscar Glasscock. Taking a look at the game from last Friday night up in Florence, Cullman taking on Mars Hill. Unfortunately, a 21-6 loss for the Bearcats. But looking ahead to this Friday night, Cullman goes back on the road up to Decatur, back in region play this week. What do we know about this Decatur team?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If we play like we did last Friday, they will dominate us like Mars Hill did. You know, Coach Adcock's a Hall of Fame coach. You know, they've struggled the last 2 years. They've had some, you know, they did some rezoning up there in Decatur and things like that, and they may not have quite the same caliber. You know, when I think about Decatur, I think about Gerard Power. Right. I think about Rolando McClain, and you know, Benny Perrin. I mean, they've just had famous coaches and players over the years, and Coach Adcock's been a part of coaching those guys, and they've done a super job. That staff is incredible, and they're an improving football team. They played some really good opponents, and they're getting better every week. And I know they see chinks in our armor, and you know, they're going to be hungry for a win. But you know, we need to be an angry football team going up there Friday night, not angry at Decatur, but angry at ourselves.
Right.
You know, to prove that we're better than what we showed. That was just we fell off the track a little bit, but we're back on track, and we can play our style of football and execute like we are supposed to execute and we're expected to. But obviously, if you're going to lose a game, a non-region game is preferable. Doesn't hurt you as far as the region standings, and we're back in Region 8. If we can win this game, we'll go a long way towards securing a playoff spot. It doesn't guarantee it, but we're in a lot better shape. We'll still be undefeated in the region with 3 games to go, and so it's huge. And you start thinking about those seedings and things like that. And we still, Cullman hasn't beaten Decatur 2 years in a row or back to back since again the Woodard era, early 70s. We're still looking for that 600th program win. I think there's still a lot of things in front of us that'll be neat to accomplish. But you know what? I want to see us be on Friday night the best team that we can be. And that's my main. That's what I told my players this week. I said, look, we don't list a lot of goals like, hey, we want to win the region championship, or we want to win 6A state championship. We don't have all these stated goals that we list. Our goal is simply to be the best team that we can possibly be, and to, play as hard as we can, to improve every week and in every phase of our program, including our decision making and how we're doing in school. And, if we can get better and improve in all these major areas each week, and we can be the absolute best team that we can be, I mean, the wins are going to come. And the championships are going to come and things like that. That takes care of itself. And we got to get back to being others focused and being focused on our job and valuing that football and having that stone cold business attitude to how we play, where nothing phases us. And if we can get back to that, we're going to have a good chance to win Friday night.
Sure. Six games in the book, 5-1 record so far. Decatur this week, 3 more region games following that, with Columbia for homecoming, Athens on the road, Muscle Shoals to wrap up the season. That's what you're looking at for the Bearcats the rest of the way, but be sure to go up 7 o'clock Friday night in Decatur. Cullman taking on Decatur. Be sure to take that mask with you as well, and social distance outside of those, not from your household. But we've got one more quarter to look at in this Mars Hill Cullman game from last Friday night up in Florence. And let's go to the screen with that one, as Cullman is trailing 21-6 as we head into the 4th.
So we're still in the game. As we say, we've been close to making a game of it, and we still got a chance. We can just kind of hang on again. See Ryan Skinner in here, and like I said, I thought Ryan came in and was composed, and it's good to get him a couple of snaps in there in a big setting and a pressure situation. It's only going to make him better. Rolls out, makes a throw downfield. Lined up in a little bit different formation on our punt team, and just see how they would react. And we've got some different formations we're trying to utilize. The main thing is we're trying not to kick it to 21 Higgins, and we get a nice punt. Get them deep in their territory, and if we can get a stop, a 3 and out especially, I mean, we still got plenty of time in this game to score and get back in contention for winning the game. Gave up the cutback. You do a better job there at linebacker and making sure that we're fitting together in our flow. Good job of getting in a little different front. Can cause some confusion sometimes when you jump into it, and those offensive linemen all of a sudden see something different. It's hard to react. And again, we're still, this is a good defense. We're still a good defense, and we may not execute everything as smoothly as we had before, but as you can see, that's a great play by Cole Herforth. I mean, he had an up and down night, but he still made some plays and is capable of making plays, and has provided great leadership for us this year, and I know he'll continue to do so. And we're able to get the ball back. We're able to get their offense off the field, force them to punt, and as you can see, they punted more in this game, I think, than they have collectively all year. So we held our own at times. If we, the one explosive touchdown is one you really, really make you scratch your head. But again, we played well enough on defense to be competitive, especially considering Coach Hopper being not part of the play calling.
Right.
Good toughness here by Isaiah. We're preaching that ball security. He does a good job of holding on the ball. We get the chains moving, and again, we've got two really good targets out there, and but we've got to have that running threat to our tight end wing side, and they came in and they gave us some things in the passing game. Again, nice throw and catch on the drag route right here, and we got to take advantage of it, and I felt like we did for the most part. But if we can't run the ball, it's almost impossible to be successful in our offense. And nearly connect there. We're in a deal whereas we're really having to throw mainly because we can't run the ball. And again, we see we got seems like their whole defense right there taking a team picture around the running back, and it's just we've gone back to the drawing board and just get back to the things we've been doing. So forced to go through it forward on fourth down, too long for a field goal, and Maxwell improvises right here a little bit. That wasn't a design play, and just good awareness, giving ourselves kind of a chance, but. Again, defensively, we're back on the field, and again, another good tackle by Cole Herfurth, and we're playing our responsibilities a little bit. Again, we overran some things from the linebacker position and gave them some cutback lanes, and we worked on that this week. Run the jet, didn't quite have a guy in the gap that they made the cutback into, and again, we're a one-gap defense. We've got to make sure we've got a player that's able to get into that gap. Again, here I think defensively we're a little bit tired, a little bit on our heels. They've got all the momentum. We haven't been able to do anything, and they're starting to find some holes and some creases, and we're getting into some things away from the football still, and again. I think our kids understand how important playing with composure is, and we let it get to us a little bit toward the end of the game and on this drive. Great play by Evan Dye. They blew a blocking assignment, and he's a big, strong kid, young kid's going to have a really bright future here. Again, they're getting down to the 1 yard line, and we're doing everything we can to keep fighting, keep playing. They snapped the ball early, and they decided to go ahead and take a knee here and run out the clock. And that's just a good old-fashioned tail whooping up there at Mars Hill. And like I said, for 5 games this year, we've been the bully, and we've been what Mars Hill did to us. We've been doing to other people by really similar scores, and we gotta get those mistakes corrected. We gotta value the football. We gotta eliminate those turnovers. We gotta get her making sure that we're not giving up cheap one in the special teams. And we gotta make sure we're not going to give up explosive touchdowns, or we're lined up in things where we're vulnerable to on defense, and get our tackling skills back together, and we've worked on all those things this week, and we're not carrying the burden of being concerned about our coach, and we've got that anxiety off of us for now, and Matt's got a long road to recovery, but at least he's got that chance to recover, and so anyway, he was able to, like I said earlier, he was able to stop by practice on Tuesday. People probably seen this picture. I'll pull out my phone here, and his lovely wife, Shanae, was able to snap a photo, and we're really happy to be able to show that. That's a couple of guys smiling. I think I've got the bigger smile. It was like I said, certainly a relief, and kind of puts things in perspective. We were got our tails whooped the other night, like I said, and embarrassing in performance. But, you know, looking at the big picture, you know, this is, you know, certainly there was a, you know, light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, and you understand that, hey, it is just a game, and more important things of, you know, the reality of life and death and somebody's health and all that, you know, it's kind of a wake-up call on that end. The game wasn't just a wake-up call, but our, you know, perception and being realistic about things and knowing this is just a game, certainly put into perspective
right, absolutely.
by our experience there. So, you know, we're happy to be playing and happy to have our full coaching staff and in whatever capacity that is. And you know, hey, we get to play football another week in this kind of nutty year. And I think I was telling somebody the other day, now I may have the biggest New Year's Eve party you've ever seen, man. We'll put put 220 to rest.
Just usher it out the door. Just push it out.
Not that it's been all bad. I mean, we've enjoyed playing and working with these kids, and I'm glad that they've been able to participate, things like that. But man, I'm telling you what, you know, I've lived a few years, and I've never seen anything quite like this 2020.
Nothing surprises me about this
And
year.
I'll tell you what, when I watched that debate last night, that presidential debate, I have to say, like I said, I haven't seen anything like 220 in my lifetime. So
Chris Wallace not return our call about being on tonight? Okay,
yeah.
guess not.
Hey, we're not going to trade you in for him. I'm going to promise you that one.
Hey, I appreciate it. I'll take that anyway.
Your job's safe.
Well, that one's in the books. Decatur Friday night on the road, 7 o'clock. Be sure to come out and support this Bearcat team. Bring that mask with you. Be ready to social distance in the stadium. And root on these kids. The players and the coaches on this staff have put in a lot of hard work. And be sure to throw up an extra prayer for Coach Hopper this week because him and his family really do need to hear that. So
yeah, and tickets available on GoFan.
Yep.
My understanding, there's not going to be a cash gate. Sort of the routine is the same there. So I think it's going to be great fall weather. You know, get your sweatshirt out, and man, y'all come on up, support these kids, and help us get this thing corrected, and let's just enjoy being together, and you know, especially after this week and circumstances of it. Let's enjoy being together and supporting these kids and enjoying the better things in life.
absolutely. And that's a great way to wrap it up this week for the Bearcat Review. Be sure to come back and join us next week to recap the Cullman Decatur game. We'll see you Friday night, 7 o'clock. Have a great night, Bearcat fans.
Oh,